All right, so we give praise to Steve and honor to the Most High Yahuwah in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. For another shall come in his own name, and you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and receive not the honor that comes from Elohim alone? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there is one that accused you, even Moses, whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Revelation 1 and 18. Praise be to Elohim. This is going to be the last day we talk about this matter. I think by the grace and mercy of Elohim, we've exhausted it to the point that we could exhaust it, even though there's never a time where you could exhaust any matter in your Revelation 1 and 17. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. Shalom, man. And he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that lived and was dead, and behold, I'm alive forevermore. Amen. And I have the keys of hell and death. Let's go back to Job chapter 3. Talked about a lot of different things. And I guess we can still work it in for Michael. We still ain't hit Michael off of Lucifer yet. She ain't even got it yet. I think in a while, we gotta get me separated, man. Job 31 and 33, where we stopped at. Little Joe, is you tired? You gotta be sleeping. He said, if I cover my transgressions as Adam, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom. Now, let's go take a look at Romans 5 since we talk about Adam. I got you on what you text me, Sean, man. Give me a second. Passed him off at the right time. Rondo. 5 and 12. Romans 5 and 12. He said, wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, so death passed upon all men, for all that all have sinned. For unto the law sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed where there is no law. Of course, you know, before they partook of the tree of life, there wasn't no law. They ain't have no law. Such a thing did not exist. That's what the tree of knowledge of good and evil is all about, and y'all know that. But again, we ended on the note of discussing the sacrifice of the lamb in relation to the testimony through Adam. We all know the differences between the two genealogies, correct? And Matthew and Luke, and how Luke makes a attest to the fact that Adam is a who? Son of Elohim. So, of course, if we're going to conclude with the first and the last, we have to do so in regards to Adam. I know I had mentioned that we might have talked about the beast and him proclamation of Elohim, and we did, you know what I'm saying? But he's a buster nigga. It's not really worth focusing on for an extended period of time. So we focused on that matter a time or two. Tonight is not that time. So Romans chapter 5, right? I'm in verse 14. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitudes of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come. See now, he's not here for that particular point. He said that he was the figure of him that was to come. I want you to come back. We're going to look at this Greek word for figure and see if it links up with dema, which is likeness or resemblance. First thing, we'll look at the Greek word for similitude, which is homomoa, which is something which is made after the likeness of something. A figure, an image, or a likeness, or resemblance, or equality of identity. Now, of course, we have figure. How are you doing? About to get whooped. That's what she's doing. Typos. Now, this is something that we'll sit back and look at, right? A two-pose, excuse me. It says the mark, stroke, or blow, the figure formed by blow or impression, the image of the gods, an example to be imitated, a man worthy of imitation, and in a doctrinal sense, a prefiguring of the messianic person or thing. So, and again, of course, context clues and simple common sense tells us that, but it lets us know that Adam is a figure of Mashiach. Let's return back to Job 31. We'll probably return to Romans 5 at some point. But if we're dealing with the first and the last, we have to go ahead. We have to look at Adam, which we really have not done in the midst of this week-long journey. That nigga said James Brown. Boy. Yeah. Boy. I've been nigga say James Brown, and they say you gonna eat vagina. The nigga say for what? What I get out of that? I thought was hilarious. Big ass. Don't look like the nigga in that mugshot. That nigga was hot. Number one slave. Stop. No. Yeah. Muffin. But that is right. I don't think we really went over the word for covered as we could have. Right? I think we did. Kasar, right? Y'all remember that? The cover, to conceal, and to hide. Carve some and hate. What would we say with Samah? Let's look and see. Let's go through it as a unit. Ain't my shoulder. Kasah, the word for Kasah, the word for cover. So when we got Samak, right? I think I mentioned it earlier, right? You got thorn, protect, support, thorn, sharp, piercing, shield, grab, hold, and infinite. And of course, you want to say protection because you need the protection. And of course, you got Ka. And I think that's the work, or the work of protection. You can behold the work of protection or the work of salvation, because that's what salvation ends up doing. It ends up saving you to protect you from something. Let's go back and look at the book of Genesis, chapter 3. I want to say, pick it up at 3:10. Muffington. Now listen to me. This is what I need you to do. I need you to place your posterior on the floor or in a chair. I need you to keep it there. I don't need you to be scatting around, moving around, rolling around, or whatever it is you got going on. Because when you're doing all that means. So I need you to sit still. Make that 3 and 9. Genesis chapter 3, verse 9. And Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. Now let me ask y'all this question. There's an epistle letter that lines up with this point. What had Adam done at this point? Had he not offended? So based off his offense, he was naked. When Yahuwah called for him, he became afraid. What is this pointing to in an epistle letter? And I will narrow the epistle letter down for you. It is in the epistle to the Hebrews. So yeah. Yeah. Renee, what will we do for you? I think you need to find somewhere to sit down. Conrad, find yourself somewhere to sit down. Epistle of the Hebrews is where we're looking for, because basically he's a little nervous, is he not? Why is he nervous? Because of his disobedience. I remember what we read earlier. Who was deceived? Adam or Eve? Eve. Who was in the transgression? Adam or Eve? Eve was. And Eve was in the, because she rebelled. Always remember, in the midst of a rebellion, you'll always state what you know you're supposed to do versus what you actually do. See, sometimes when you offend, like with David, he just offended off the top. He didn't say, you shall not commit adultery, and then go commit adultery. He just went and offended. She ran back in detailed fashion what the instruction was and then went against it. That is, shalom, man, that is the definition of rebellion. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't got that epistle letter for me? You ain't figured it out? Michael? Centered around the fact that after Adam sinned and Yahuwah came looking for him, he said he was afraid and he hid himself. Where was it again? It's in the epistle to the Hebrews. Oh, no, not that. Not that. It's in where? It's in the epistle of the Hebrews.
In regards to hiding himself.
And his fear. Well, that's close enough. Come on in chapter 10. You're in the general assembly. Hebrews 10 and 23. Oh man, praise Yah indeed. That boy says 2 o'clock in the morning over there. Yep. Chapter 10, verse 25. I was to start there. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sins. Remember what he told Adam, if he ate from that tree, what would happen? You would surely die. There wasn't no sacrifice for that sin. He said, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and a fiery indignation which shall devour the adversaries. He was scared, wasn't he? I go back to Genesis chapter 3. Back to Genesis chapter 3. Verse 12. No, 11. Hey, this what y'all not gonna do. Because you in my workspace. If y'all think y'all finna come over here and play and scoot around, I'm gonna start punching y'all dead in the middle of your forehead because you think that I'm somebody to be played with. Play with it. Especially you. I've been waiting for a reason to whoop you. I'm not playing with y'all. Because y'all done went from over there because you're not listening. And you think you're gonna come over here with shenanigans. And I feel disrespected. And now since I feel disrespected, that means I don't think that y'all think that I would strike you. So now I have to prove you you're a liar. And that goes for all of you. See, that's our problem. Can't show you no mercy. Try to instruct you properly because you think it's a game. So now we got to go ahead and serve you up what you're looking for. That stripes on your backside. You a Jew, so I can hit you all 39 times. I ain't just talking to you neither. That go for all of you. And your parents ain't gonna be able to save you. Now what you ought to do is sit here and listen to this word and pay attention to the words of your God. That's what you ought to do. Do I have an understanding? All right, then act like it. 3 and 11. And he said, who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree whereof I have commanded you that you should not eat? Hey, come over here to Revelation 16 real quick.
Daddy, give me that marker.
Sorry, Joy, hush your mouth.
No,
I said, don't tell me no. I said, hush your mouth. Yes, Renee. Hello. I want you to come over here to 16 and 12 on general principle. Matter of fact, make it 16 and 10. Shoot, man, brother, man, make it verse 7, man. I just to go through all that just for having help. (16 and 7). And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Yahuwah Elohim Almighty, true and righteous are your judgments. The fourth Malachim poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Remember how we were talking about how all this thing say all these plagues gonna go down, and these boys still ain't gonna repent? This man say that they gonna pour a vial on the sun, and it's gonna scorch men. And I'm just gonna run back and grab the first vial. Remember what the first vial said? It'd be a grievous sore upon anybody who take the mark of the beast. So this is what I want you to recall and remember. These vials do not get poured out until the beast begins to rule. Don't let nobody tell you different. Look at what it said. Go on over here to verse 2, man. Screw it. We here. Make it verse 1. Hey, I might as well do it now. I'm here now. Nigga say, we here now. Oh, you read it? It's my Renee reading. Don't write on that. You understand me? I want you to listen. See, I know what I'm going to have to do with y'all. I'm going to have to make you speak alone. That's what I'm going to have to do. 16 and 1. I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 Malachim, go your way and pour out the vials of the wrath of Elohim upon the earth. Now, why would Yahuwah need to pour out this wrath? Because this man has blasphemed his tabernacle. He has persecuted his chesed. Look at me. And participated in many evil works on this earth. Hey, bro. Hey, Conrad. Get it together, man. You a soldier. Take it like a champ. The first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. There fell a noisome, grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So is that accurate to say that these vials do not come down until after the beast begins to rule? I'm telling you this because of people who use things out of context every time something happens. Ain't nobody getting no sores on their body till the mark of the beast has been accepted. What is the mark of the beast, Michael? What is the mark of the beast? You don't know? Yeah. Now, what is the mark of the beast, man? Sorry. Well, what is it? No. Oh, you don't know? That is unfortunate. Oh, absolutely not. Deja, what is the mark of the beast? Covenant with the beast. That's what Saran did. That's all it is. Saran did the same thing. Oh, yeah, that's all it is. You go read what it is, Daniel 11. What he said he'll make with. What do you say he'll do with the people, John? And Daniel 11. What he said? What did he say the beast will do with the people?
He gonna teach the people.
He gonna teach the people. You go look up that word. He'll make intelligence with the people. And Aramaic it means to teach. He said he would make intelligence with all those who forsake the Kaddish covenant. Let's go look at it because she's looking perplexed. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Oh no. But what's the Hebrew word for mark, man? Well, you don't know that either. That is just outrageous. Well, do you know where the mark of the beast, where he get it from? This nigga needs to be fired. Come over here to Exodus 13. I ought to go punch that nigga in the face for a multitude of reasons. That's just a new one. Exodus 13. I thought at least you would have known that. That nigga's doing you a disservice. No, he ain't doing you a disservice. That nigga ain't got no. That's what that is. That's simplistic stuff right there. It's stupid Hebrew niggas know this. Yes. Or would you like for me to turn you there? Oh, okay. Oh, you're in the book of Isaiah. But you want to be here, little Renee. The book of Exodus 13. Exodus chapter 13, verse 6. This is another point of where you know that he will be killed and resurrected during Passover. 13:6, book of Exodus says, 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread, and the seventh day shall be a feast unto Yahuwah. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days. There shall be no leavened bread seen with you, neither shall there be leaven seen with you in all your quarters. And you shall show your son in that day, this is done, of that which Yahuwah did unto me when I came forth out of Mizraim. And it shall be a sign unto you upon your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, and Yahuwah, that Yahuwah's Torah may be in your mouth. For with the strong hand of Yahuwah brought you out of Mizraim. Now, the Hebrew word for mark is oath, which is a sign, a signal, a mark, or a covenant. So the mark of the beast is a covenant with Satan. Remember what he told you in Isaiah 28? What did he say he'll disannul, Stanley? Your covenant with death. But guess what? Gonna come back over here to Daniel 11 and see that these people want to make a covenant with death. See, that's what you see in the garden. They made a covenant with death. Not a covenant with Satan per se, but a covenant with death. That's what you do every time you go against the word. You get in covenant with death. Come over here to Daniel chapter 11. You can pick it up at about verse 26. Oh, your daddy got you. Your daddy got you. We're going to help you out. What's that? I give people credit until they show otherwise. He said, you don't take a lot of rules, know that people are going to teach someone. That he's going to teach people. But see, this is vital. Stanley, the first time we went through this was like 2016. We sprinkle it in periodically, necessary to keep it at the front of your mind so that you are not deceived. Our whole objective and point is so that you can be prepared so you can make your stand. You can't make your stand if you don't even know why you're standing or what you'll be standing against, for that matter. Oh, no. But see, again, right, there's nothing new under the sun. And when we see what Satan did, Satan tried to tempt Yahushua with the things that Elohim had already given him. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me ask you this here, right? This is some old work. We're going to whip it up real quick. Like Matthew chapter 4, right? He told Satan, asked Yahushua to turn the stones into bread. Do you know why he asked him that? What would the stones be representative of?
Heart. One thing from the mind is that he'll raise up the stones
I'm sorry, that just came to my mind. I remember they said Golden was still alive when we did this here because he got extremely excited. He just came back to my mind with that. So thank the Lord. Now, the stones is the law. When you were asking them to turn the stones into bread, you were asking them to bring life before it was time. Because before you had the stones, now you got the living bread, covenant on the inside. He was asking them to do it ahead of time. That's why he said, man, don't live by bread alone. But that's why he hit him with that answer. What you think this is? Turn stones into bread. Stones. You stupid as you dumb. You know what I'm saying? But when you know the word, that's why you can do that. That's why I was telling him, like, your homeboys on the phone, you niggas dumb. When you look at how the Lord talked to them dudes, he talked to them like you're beneath me. That's how you're supposed to feel. If you know someone, I'm talking about somebody who professes to be someone. I'm not talking about regular people. These people who he had me talk to, these people profess that they teachers of the word, holders of light, and vanguards of righteousness. You're beneath me. You disgust me. You're vile in my eyesight. You know what I'm saying? And I will communicate with you as such. You're not worthy as a man of respect because you are a deceiver, if you would, a phony, masquerading as something that you're not, for the purpose of arguing and causing strife and contention over vain arguments that do not matter to a single solitary human being on the face of this earth. I don't have time for that. I'll bash your skull in, and then I will depart from you. I got no problem bashing your skull in. You know what I'm saying? Because you need it bashing. And that's what more people need to do. Because when you see what the Lord did with him, they bashed him in with that word and disrespected him in the midst of doing it. And then they would walk off. I think he was talking about us. He did it all the time. But remember, again, the key point, only with the scribes, though. Only with the teachers, never with the people. We don't do the people like that. Man looking like I am embarrassed. Huh? Daniel 11:27 or 26. Yea, they feed off the portion of his meat, shall surely destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. Both of these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief. They shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper. For yet the end shall be at the time appointed. So these men gonna go and run amok, and this still ain't over yet. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the Kadash covenant. And he shall do exploits and return to his own land. Let's look at exploits, because I can't remember off the top of my head what the exploit was. Matter of fact, exploits ain't even in that verse. Exploits ain't even there. We'll see what the word is that's there, but exploits is not there. Yes, Renee? Renee, you look troubled. It's got asa, so it's the fashion. So there's no exploits there. It's just going to say he's going to work. Let's continue. At the time appointed, he shall return and come towards the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return, and having indignation against the Kadesh covenant, so shall he do. He even shall return and have intelligence with them that forsake the Kadesh covenant. So let's look at that in regards to intelligence. The word for intelligence here is B'nai, and you know what that is, right? I know you know what B'nai is. Understandable. B'nai is the word for understanding, but it also means to cause understanding, to give understanding, or to teach, to instruct, or to understand, consider, or to perceive, or discern. But it also means to observe, to mark, to give heed to distinguish, and to consider. So this man will sit down and instruct everybody who goes against Yahuwah. That's why it says everyone who is not written in the Lamb's book of life will follow this man, because he will teach them against the word, because he has understanding of dark sentences. So it will perceive that he has understanding. And if your name is not written in the book, you're going to take his mark. You're going to enter into a covenant with him, and you're going to bow down and worship him as he is Elohim. That's really what it's all about. It's really that cut and dry and simple. Yeah, it's not even that difficult. It's just knowing the word. Dudes just don't be knowing the word. And that's why he gets clipped during Passover. Because when he resurrects from the dead, he gonna try to see that's me. So you need to take this mark in Exodus like it tell you, because I'm that one. And that's how people gonna get got. Niggas looking for RFID chips and vaccines, and they gonna get got. Because it ain't no RFID chip. They say you're not gonna be able to buy or sell. Of course you're not gonna be able to buy or sell. You're living in a world that is ran by Satan. And if you're not in covenant with Satan, you're gonna be exposed. So you're not gonna be able to interact with these people. But the purpose of it is you're not going to be able to buy or sell, which means that everybody who trusts in Yahuwah is going to be leaning on Yahuwah. Those who trust in man, like we read earlier, don't put your trust in princes, nor in trust in man, like we read in Psalm 1. See, we didn't look at all that already today. We didn't look at that already. You're going to have to trust Yahuwah. When you came up out of Egypt, you couldn't do nothing. The people was already cutting off your means of doing this, that, and the third before you left. He's doing the same thing all over again, so you can know it's him. Back to Revelation 16. Due season. That's what he promised you. That nigga off in the cut. That's like that notification I just got. That was a dude who asked me, like, do I debate? Like, that's why I be telling man, I'm not on that, bro. Dudes be on all these debate shows and leagues going back and forth. Niggas still on their way to hell, my G. I ain't got time for it. I ain't own not nobody who do. I ain't got time for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna knock you out first quarter, and I'm preaching word to you, and I ain't gonna be like, I won the battle. But again, that goes back to what I'm talking about. Why is this a competition? See, when you're dealing with the gospel, you're dealing with the word of Elohim, you put the truth out there, you do what you want to with it. You ain't got to believe nothing that I say. Doesn't matter. You ain't see Yahushua say, believe me, why don't y'all believe me? He was frustrated because he's like, yo, I'm really here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more that consternation when it comes to that. Like, I'm here for y'all and y'all. Wow. Like, y'all really think I'm doing all this for me? For this, that, that? Like, I'm here for you, y'all. Wow. But at the end of the day, what he told his apostles to do, you hit them off with that work and you do what? They don't want to take it? Slide. When he told his apostles, leave them alone. They be what? Blind leaders of the blind. He didn't say try to turn them over. He said leave them alone. We had to stop that because clearly you didn't know it. That's why we did it. If you'd have known that, we wouldn't have done that. 16:3. He said the second Malachim poured out his vial upon the sea. It became as the blood of a dead man. Every living soul in the sea died. Do you know where that happened at, Michael? You read it. It's in front of you. 16:3, Michael. Do you know where that happened at? Monte, help out. 16:3. Do you know where that happened at? That's happened before. I know. Well, come ahead and tell me, Kalisha. No, wrong answer. That's your friend. That was during the time of Egypt. That was one of the plagues. Monte, the verses, the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man. And every living soul died in the sea. See, you of Yahuwah, and you saw that, you would already know, oh, that's the Elohim of the Abarim. That's the Elohim. That's the God of the Hebrew. You would already know that. That's what he did. To be told, did he not put a grievous sore on the Egyptians? So when you see that, what did he say about everybody who dwelt in Goshen? What did he say about Yasharal in Egypt? You know what he said about Eric? Little Muffin, you know what Yahuwah said about Yasharal in Egypt and the Egyptians? Do you remember what he said? What about you, Shayla? Quiet. Shayla, you over there? You don't know. You know what he said about that? The Egyptians and Yasharal. Yahuwah made a statement about the Egyptians and Yasharal. Yes, he did. Before he went down to dropping the plagues, he made a statement. Huh? Who knows what the statement was? Huh? That's one of the plays. Don't nobody recall? He said, I'm going to make a difference between Yasharal and the addition. That you going to know who mine and who isn't. That's right, Saran got it. Make a separation. What you think he doing again? He making a separation. What did he tell you in Jeremiah? That they will no longer say Yahuwah liveth that did what? Brought him up out of Egypt, right? But Yahuwah liveth that brought him out of where? The north country. So remember why he is Yahuwah. What he don't do? He changed not. So he gonna do the same thing again. You know why? So they can know that if he did something different, they wouldn't know that's the God of the Hebrews. But if he do the same thing, they know who they fooling with. Anything in the sea. Just what happened in Egypt. When Moses turned that water into blood, it said everything died. Everything died. 16:4. And the third Malachim poured out his vials upon the rivers and the fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the water say, you are righteous, O Yahuwah, which are, hold on, you hear what he said, which are, which was, and shall be. Which is what? The first and the last. Because you have judged us, huh? For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Yahuwah Elohim Almighty, true and righteous are your judgments. The fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given to him to scorch men with fire. Did not the same thing happen in Egypt with the sun? And guess what it said the men did? And the men who were scorched with great heat blasphemed the name of Elohim, which had power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him esteem. You know how wicked you got to be to get scorched by the sun and still don't repent? And the fifth Malachim poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and the kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. It did not happen in Egypt that it went dark. And blasphemed the Elohim and Shamahim because of their pains and their swords, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth Malachim poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. See, that go back to what you read. You can read in Daniel. Dried that water up so the boys could come on through and slide through. And I saw three unclean ruachs like frogs come out of the mouth of the serpent, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the ruachs of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Elohim Almighty. So what is he doing? He bringing them all together. He dried that all that stuff up. See, that's the difference. See, that's not Pharaoh didn't catch that.
That's like when Moses put that serpent down, and the
mission did the same thing because that's what they were doing. They were working off of the spirits of devil. But the adjustment with this is that this is the guy. This second to last vial was for the purpose of gathering these people together so he could smash them. Things that we already looked at recently about all these people coming together to fight, whether it's coming together to come against Yahushua, son of Nun, and the book of Joshua. Remember all them kings that got together and wanted to come fight him?
That's kind of similar. Egypt dried up the sea so chariots could follow them.
But that was to kill them. They were following behind us. See, he dried up the sea so we could come through. And then they got crashed. See, the difference is it's a preparation for these other kings to come where the beast is, because Elohim is trying to get all. See, you just mentioned it, and it's about to say it too. Multitudes in the valley of decision. This is to get everybody in this one place so he can kill them all at one time. You know what I'm saying? And I think we talked about this week. If not, it was the week before. You know what I'm saying? That's what the purpose is. He want to kill them all. And what's the best way to do it? By setting up a means for y'all to come together on a powwow. It's a trap, a strong military trap. Now, the thing in Egypt was a trap, but it was a different type of trap because no army gathered up to go to battle with. See, they were chasing after us. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't a battle set up like we all coming over here to gather and fight these people. Them niggas got drowned before they even had the opportunity. Ooh, boy, when she said it like that, that means you finna get a book. Listen what it say, right? Verse 15, this is what I came here for. Behold, I come as a thief. Baruch is he that watch and keep his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. See, the thing was, see what Adam is, he didn't keep his watch. So he ended up naked, and he saw, and his shame was exposed. He gathered them together in a place in the Abarim tongue called Armageddon. The son of Malachim poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, "It is done." And there were voices, thunders, lightnings, and a great earthquake. And then, of course, you know, hell go to dropping up out of there, mountains going away. And that man, like this here, say, Great Babylon came and remember, it's time to make it do what it do. You know what Big said? Somebody got to die. And all these people finna die. That's an ugly situation and circumstance to find yourself in. Come back to Genesis chapter 3. And again, that's why when we know what the end is about, the end is strictly about allegiance to the lamb or the serpent. That's really it. It's no more, no less. You're either down with the lamb or the serpent. Which one is it going to be? Which one is it for you, Lizzie? The lamb or the serpent? Do you choose the lamb or the serpent? Huh? You don't know? Which one, Abigail? Do you choose the lamb or the serpent? Huh? Lamb? You a wise baby. Genesis chapter 3, right? Verse 13. Verse 12, excuse me. The man said, the woman who you gave to eat with me, she gave me of the tree and I did eat. Look at the word tree. We've looked at it in the past. Let's look at it. Y'all remember the tree, right? Etz, Otz, Ayin, and Saad. What will you say? We don't want to say no the way. That wouldn't be correct in the context. Because they knew the way and didn't walk it. They knew the way, didn't walk it. Get down, please. Let's look at Sod and see what we see. Of course, you have trail, the way, a fish hook, chasing, hunting, journey, to pull towards, a harvest, and laying on one side. Which one would you say? Pull towards? Now let's look at Ayin. Now with Ayin, you got an eye to watch, to know the word converging in the soul and experience. Or you could look at that you should be pulling towards the word. They did the opposite. They did the opposite. Instead of getting pulled towards Elohim, they got pulled away from him. But who the one got pulled away from Elohim? It was the woman. It was the woman. The man did not get, because again, the man is representative of Yahushua. So how can Yahushua get pulled away from himself? You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. See, of course, a lot of brews be like, see, Eve and all this stuff here. See, we not on that. Now, I'm going to let you know, if you're out of pocket, you're a worthless piece of woman. You ain't worth nothing. Y'all already know the book tell you that. But we already talked about this not too long ago. What did the book say the virtuous woman is to her husband? A crown. But he said a woman who brings shame is what? Rottenness in his bones. We did already went over that in Proverbs, how Yasharal would be a crown to Yahusha. But we also looked at how that she was a shameless woman and she was rottenness in his bones. Because she bringing a reproach, she bringing dishonor. That's rough. Come to Isaiah 1. We talked about it earlier. To know the inescapable chase. I heard that. Oh my goodness. Isaiah 1 and 3. We'll come back. We'll read Jeremiah 3 because we were talking about that a little earlier. Y'all know what backslide means? As far as y'all understanding, what does backslide mean? Y'all can answer that on here too if you wish. What does backslide mean? What does it mean to backslide? Well, look at you. Ain't nobody asked you. You already knew the answer. You supposed to have enough oomph to know to be quiet. I can tell. I would not take that from you. Good job, man. You didn't see the other day when we told her, she like, every time a nigga asked her a question, she look at my G. I don't do that. Nigga's like, yes, you do. Because you can't look at it. That ain't private, nigga. That's known. You do it in public. You act like ain't nobody ever seen you do that. That's everybody in the room. You need to go get in the bed with your children. Well, who baby you got? Well, he done changed shirts. I said, I didn't know that was him. He should be got a different shirt on. Oh, to do something you once did again and know you shouldn't be doing it? Just follow me now. Work with me. Isaiah 1 and 3. Ox know his owner and the ass his master's crib, but Yasharal do not know, my people do not consider. A sinful nation. A people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, sons that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahuwah. They have provoked the Kadash one of Yasharal under anger. They are gone away backwards. Let's look at backwards. Ain't that's what Adam did? Did he go backwards? But guess what? He went backwards because his wife went backwards. AKA Yasharal went backwards. See, I'm going to tell you something, Meg. I noticed something with a lot of brood women. They feel like if you say something about women, you hate women. Where's the stuff for the man? Look here, you simple-minded slut, you. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. What you would have to understand is the consequence and correction would always have to come to the man first. What you look like going around to correct women for? What is the woman going to do? The woman going to lead you somewhere? She going to lead the people? So, of course, by proxy, by default, it has to go to the man first. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of women, if the men got in order, we would get in order too. Maybe if the man in order or not, you should have yourself in order. That's not a reasonable excuse. But I do understand. But it's not a reasonable excuse for you to be disobedient and unruly because you feel like that man is disobedient and unruly. So how you expect to win him over to righteousness and you can't even conduct yourself properly? You're a very person of very low intelligence. Clearly, you're a couple short neurons in your brain. That real though, niggas just be talking about you, but you know what I'm saying? But really, it's that a lot of women just don't want to get pointed out for what they're doing and want to push stuff back on the man. We already know men out of order because you're allowing this woman to be out of order. And the problem is this is the thing you brothers have to understand. You can't get a woman in order. She got to get herself in order. If she chooses not to get herself in order, then you remove yourself from that situation. And what did Yahuwah do? Remove himself from that situation. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. You can't make people do right. And now you have a core for backwards, which is the backside of the rear. We're not going to use that because I just don't like it. Come over here to Jeremiah chapter 3. Are you okay over there, little much? You're looking like you're in deep thought. You too. You okay, littlest much? Yeah, both of y'all actually. Jeremiah 3. And 11. No, she's Muffington. There's numerous incantations. Jeremiah 3 and 11. And Yahuwah said unto me, backsliding Yasharal have justified herself more than treacherous Yehuda. Backsliding. Meshuga. It means to turn back or apostasy. Turning away. Do y'all remember what apostasy means? Do you remember what apostasy means? Any of y'all up there remember what apostasy means? Hey, come here, boy. Relax. 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 What you crying for? So you mean to tell me that you crying because you need to use the bathroom instead of going to use the bathroom? Go use the bathroom? Then go use the bathroom. No. Come here, boy. Go to that bathroom in there. You got to urinate? You got to pee? Somebody help him with the light in there. So apostasy means it doesn't mean just rebellion. It means to completely abandon the work. Come over here to 1 John chapter 2, I believe. Now, that's what we look at. Was Solomon an apostate? No. Was David an apostate? No. Was Saul an apostate? Yes. Reprobate, you've been rejected. An apostate turns away and say, I'm done with it. Basically, you forsake Yahuwah and say, I'm out. Mahal at you. What, an apostate? No, he talked about the men who were walking with Yahusha, and then when he made a statement, they stopped walking with him. But before they stopped walking with him, he said he knew those that believed not and those who did. And then those men no longer walked with him. And then he looked at his apostles and said, will you leave also? And Peter said, where will we go? You have the words of eternal life. You know what I'm saying? An apostate is different than an apostate, like, I'm done. Like, I'm not fooling with that no more. I'm dealing with chakras and witchcraft and I'm worshiping Islam or whatever the case may be, but you done with Elohim. You done with the living Elohim. You done with Yahuwah. That's what that means. Let me get the verse that I need. 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2. You can pick it up at verse 15. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of camps like to use this 1 John chapter 2 when individuals no longer roll with their organization. We've discussed this before in the past. I know I've been told that IUIC is notorious for it. I cannot speak to that. If any of y'all have experience in that regard, you can speak to it. I do not have any experience with anybody. I've seen Bruce say it, but I don't know if certain organizations do. I can't speak to that. Who crying? Come here, Grandma. 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 Come here. Relax. 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 What you crying for? What you crying for? So why you crying because you want your mommy right there? So I know. Relax. I know you're lying. So what I need you to do, look at me. What I need you to do is I need you to sit down. I need you to be quiet. If I have to call for you again, see that little leg right there? I'm going to pop it. Okay. Now go sit down. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in it. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. That show you that Eve was of the world. Ain't that what it said? That's what she was moved by? What was Yasharal moved by? When we was in the book of Judges, what we say we wanted the king for? Because the other people had it. Everything we seen was based off what the other people were doing. That's why you could notice that we definitely are a woman, because women live comparatively. Men don't compare their lives to another man. In general, women compare their lives to other people. My titties don't look like hers. My hair don't look like hers. My life's not where hers is at. Men don't look like my haircut don't look like his. Men don't think that way. Huh? Why shoe? Nigga, I don't know why your hair ain't pressed this tight. Shoe. You know what I'm saying? You take care of it. Had it me. Luxurious. That's the proper word for it, because it is. It's luxurious. Cool. They need to pay me. You know what I'm talking about? And then soul glow. But that's a therapy. You understand? I ain't got no J curl. No, not no pastor appreciation. You know what I'm saying? You got them whole get my money pressed. That's what that is. Get my money. Not Dr. DB. In the back, get the nigga in the back. No, that's disrespectful to my soul. Word or not. You definitely put a hole in the track here. You know what I'm saying? Because whole money is slow money, but it's for show money. Verse 17. And the world passed away and the lust thereof. That nigga said cup and pinky rings. I don't do pinky rings. What's that? That nigga said, nah, I don't even know what I'm saying. No, you just tell him, stick your arm in the car window, grab him, so stick your hand in your panties and grab that knot. Stick your arm through the car window, drop it like it's hot. Hey, man, they say, in the world pass away and the lust thereof, but he that do the will of Elohim abide forever. Little sons, it is the last time, as you have heard, the anti-Mashiach shall come. Even now are there many anti-Mashiachs. Oh, no, I'm finna get my hair braided. Whereby we know that it is the last time. They went out from us. Listen what it says. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they may be manifest that they were not all of us. Let's read that again. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they have been of us, they would have no doubt continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. See, this is what a lot of congregations like to use to say when people slide. Come over here to John 6. I referenced it before. 6 and 63. John 6 and 63. John 6 and 63. It is the Ruach that quicken, the flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are Ruach and they are life. But there are some of you that believe not. But Yahushua knew from the beginning who there were that believed not and who should betray him. And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me except it was given unto him of my Father. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him. Then said Yahushua unto the 12, will you go also away? See, this is one of the common misconceptions of the text, which y'all already know. People think only the 12 walked with this man. There were much more than the 12 that walked with this man. The 12 were those who he chose. Always remember that. The 12, he chose the 12. Because remember, he sent them dudes out what? He grabbed 70 of them and sent them out what? 2 by 2. You understand? So when you see that, when he said they were with us, but they didn't continue with us, so it could be manifest that they were not an Elohim. See, somebody leaving somebody's congregation does not mean that they're not of Elohim because they no longer fellowship with you. I'm telling you that because you don't need to have that attitude with anyone at any time. What you'll tell when somebody don't have fellowship with Elohim is that they walk away from the word. That's why I was telling you the other day. It doesn't matter where people that sit back and say, oh, you can only fellowship over here. If you don't fellowship over here, you're not in the word. See, that's nigga talk. You know what I'm saying? And really what that is that's a shaming tactic. It's a shaming tactic to keep people from departing. Huh? It is. It's a shaming tactic. Because you don't see that anywhere in the text where somebody said you had to worship at this synagogue, this congregation, this assembly, because nobody's seen it as a competition. People went from spot to spot because they were looking at it. They were getting the same work no matter where they went. So it did not matter.
He said that in Luke.
Yeah, he said they don't walk. He said if they be with us, they can't be against us. He checked them boys for that. What you mean? You bugging? You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a new thing because individuals are worried about their money. If people leave, it messes with their money. When you look at what the apostles were doing, that's right, bro. All over Asia Minor from house to house. That's factual. That man taught from house to house. He had his own hired house where he dwelt at and taught. He went from synagogue to synagogue, temple to temple. But why did he do that? Because he had to preach the gospel and set men up in those cities to teach it. That's one of the biggest things that it's one of the things that apostle has authority to do that nobody else in the body has authority to do, and that's set up assemblies because they have the information for the assembly to be set up with. And after they set that assembly up, they didn't say, this is my assembly and I preside over that. No, Paul said, let's slide back through the places where we've been at, see how our brethren fare. They didn't sit back and say, this is my church and you're up under me. That's nigga talk. That's new age talk. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do that. It's basically, bro, you to oversee over this, watch over this man people, bro, and watch for their souls. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We'll slide back through, check on y'all, make sure y'all boys straight. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm going to holler at y'all. That's the same token what we were talking about the other day. We were talking about if they baptize you, you got to join their congregation. The boys ain't do that. Boys ain't do that. You want to get baptized, you baptize. I'm going to baptize you into my congregation. How that even sound? Like pause and ask yourself, my congregation? So I baptize you into my body because that's what congregation is representative of. Now, when you sit there and think about how stupid is that? You know what I'm talking about? I baptize you into a congregation. I'm only baptizing you into the body. Whose body? The Lord's body. But that's because everyone is lording over this man's people. You're possessive of a woman that don't even belong to you. And that ain't pimping. You know what I'm saying? That's not your woman. You can't be around here getting buck wild and trying to do all this, that, there for another man's woman. That's somebody else's woman. All you're supposed to do is watch over that woman till he get to the house to get his old lady. Like a real friend's supposed to. You don't try to lay with your homeboy wife unless you a degenerate. You know what I'm talking about? If your homeboy say he finna slide, bro, hey man, I'm finna be gone for a little minute, man. Look out for my wife while I'm gone. You ain't finna try to knock her down. And that's the equivalent of what these boys doing, watching over these assemblies all across the world. You're trying to push up on your homeboy wife. That's what you're trying to do. You a sucker nigga for that. I don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect it. That's what it's equivalent to. Regardless if anybody agree with it or not, don't make me no difference. I've heard that, Brittany. I've heard that before, that some churches won't even do your baptism if you're not a member. That's wicked. When I say wicked, what does wicked mean, everyone? Disagreeable. That's disagreeable conduct. That don't agree with Elohim. Where you seen the apostle say that at? Where you seen the Lord? Where you seen John the Baptist do that at? They baptized whoever came around them. They ain't say, you don't walk with me? Oh, I can't baptize you, brother. Let you walk with me. That's a real sucker move.
Philip, what he baptized?
He dipped off. That's what all them boys did. Then we just read the other day, Paul say, some of y'all say you of Cephas, some say Apollos, some of Paul. Paul said, I'm glad I ain't baptized none of you except for such and such house. He said, he ain't preached me to baptize. He ain't sent me to baptize. He seen me to preach the word. He said, but no, boy, wow. But that's what goes on in this dispensation of time. You think that's your wife. That's not your old lady, bro. That's Mashiach's woman. Do what you're supposed to do as a good friend while your homeboy out of town and look after his old lady, make sure she's straight. If that's really your friend, like, did he say, I don't call you service, but what? Don't friends take care of each other? Don't friends look out for each other, family? Man, these dudes suckers out here, man. What he say, man? He been expressing that to his people that's in the camp. Said we believe in Yahuwah, but we can't be family and sit and chop up word. It's only like 4 men in my family word wide. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that, bro. That's what that is, bro. You don't. Peter made that assertion. You can't lord over the Lord's heritage. What does heritage mean in Hebrew? Inheritance. How you gonna lord over what Yahuwah has already inherited? That's not yours, my G. That's not your old lady. That's just like another man trying to rule over another man's wife. You can't dictate and tell another man's wife what she can't. Bro, y'all know it, whether Hebrew or not, Christian or not. Boys, dudes who be telling other men's wives what to do in front of their husband. As a man, you supposed to punch that nigga in his face and take your family and dip. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't supposed to happen, bro. You don't around here dictate or order no man wife around. Just what you gonna do. So how you feel about her husband then? Like that mean that man ain't got no respect for you as a man, and that ain't no place you need to be. You know what I'm saying? That go for all y'all, man. I wouldn't care who it was, man. You don't get no orders and dictate to another man's wife. That's not what you do. That's what these dudes doing with Yahuwah and his wife, how they dictate and they treat people in his word. It ain't right. I don't like it, and it ain't right. It's just not right. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't stand for that. So I'm giving you the tools so y'all can know and understand and peep it. Because if you don't know certain stuff, you won't even peep it. You think that that's normal. You know what I'm saying? Or this, that, there, and the third. Because people are wielding power and authority, and you feel like you can't buck that power and authority. But it ain't about bugging power and authority. It's about I'm not going to allow anyone to disrespect me. As a man. I ain't talking to him, I'm talking to the man. Ain't gonna allow nobody to disrespect me because he feel like he pastor such and such, or he chief high priest and all that there in the third. Nigga, screw you and your whole life, nigga. But ain't no way in the world Allah he sent you to do that to me. Ain't no way he sent you to do that to me. And one thing if he gotta correct you, you out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro. Interfering in men's households, that's not none of your business. If you ain't asked for, you know what I'm talking about? But see, dudes do that because they know they can get to the woman, they can get the money out of that man's pocket, or he's trying to get in them and stick them cheeks. Nah, man, don't go for that. Don't go for that. Y'all know better than that. Because we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know where any of y'all can be at any time in life. So I don't want you to leave from around here. You in another spot, nigga, be with that Radis and you go for it. You ain't got to go back and forth with him. You ain't got to argue with him. Just go ahead, pack your bags up, and go about your business. That's one thing I ain't telling you to do now. Don't argue. Don't go back and forth. Just remove yourself from the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Be arguing with no man about his stupidity and folly. You let him stew in it, and you go about your business. What was that? We was in John 6. Jeremiah 3, what we was at. Verse 12. He said, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return, backsliding Yasharal. Look at me, boy. Yeah. Want to sit in the chair? Right there, son. Go and proclaim these words towards the north and say, return you back. Joy, why you not where you supposed to be? Where you supposed to be sitting? But where your Abba told you to sit? Where your Abba told you to sit? Sit where he told you to sit. Go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return you backsliding Yasharal, saith Yahuwah. I will not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith Yahuwah, and I will not keep my anger forever. Only acknowledge your iniquity, that you have transgressed against Yahuwah your Elohim, and have scattered your way to strangers under every green tree, that you have not obeyed my voice. So remember what he said? Adam said, if I cover my iniquity and hide it in my bosom, did Adam acknowledge his iniquity? He did not. Now let's look at transgress in this particular passage. Now that's Pachah, right? And again, that is to rebel, to transgress, to revolt. Y'all know what a revolt is, right? What is a revolt? A rebellion. A revolution, right? That's what a lot of people be calling. Let's do a revolution. Let's look at verse 14. Turn, O backsliding son, saith Yahuwah. Look what he said. I am what? Married unto you. And I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. See, a lot of people love to take that verse 15 and smash that in your face. I know a nigga in Tennessee do it right now. And that nigga trash. I'm talking about trash. If he feeding you with knowledge and understanding, what is he feeding you with? The knowledge of Mashiach and the understanding of Mashiach. When he rose from the dead and he taught them, boy, what he said, he opened their understanding and they had understand the scripture so you could perceive and discern. Let's see what which word for understanding is used here, because it's like 3 words for understanding. Huh? Call, that's what's there. Yes, a call. That's to be prudent, to be circumspect, to give attention to give insight, to give comprehension. So these men will be able, again, we talked about pastors earlier, right? You know what I'm talking about? Earlier in the day. And what they got to be, can't be no novice, right? They got to be skilled to teach. So it makes sense. What will they be skilled in? What did he tell you in Matthew 13:52? Every scribe which is instructed in the kingdom of heaven is like unto a householder, which bring forth out of his vessel things old and new, or the first and the last. That people get power hungry preachers come in fresh in the word, getting told you got to submit to the authorities. People do get bullied. A lot of people do get bullied. You know what I'm saying? Especially brews. A lot of brews get bullied. A lot of these boys come straight off the street. And then these boys get trained for 3 months and they say they're elders now. Well, I done seen dudes say they were elders and all they did was sit and watch YouTube videos and send somebody an email and somebody stamp it. Don't take much. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 3. I got to get all the key components before we get out of here. We ain't got to draw this out. So Genesis chapter 3, right? We're in verse 13. Yahuwah Elohim said unto the woman, what is this that you have done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Let's look at beguiled. Any of y'all felt like you've been beguiled in your life? Ain't none of y'all else felt like you've been beguiled? You feel like you've been beguiled? Yeah. That nigga said, use the word.
I've heard the word. Does that seem
yes, ma'am. Beguiled is the word in the shop. Y'all can get ready to pick this up. Noon, Sean, and Olive. It means to be deceived, to be beguiled, to be given a delusion, to be seduced. No, I'm talking about in life. Have you been seduced? Beguiled. How you felt when you realized you had been beguiled? You didn't appreciate it? You've been beguiled, Sandy? What about you, Callie? How you? Who that? Who? Oh yeah. That boy did get you. That boy got you deep. You been to God, B? I definitely don't recall anybody seducing me because I already felt like I know you lying. You don't necessarily have to be feel hurt. It's just a nigga done got you. Nigga shot your dream and you bought it. You remember God, Alicia? What about you, Michael? How you felt when you got beguiled? You ain't let nigga beguile you out your buns, did you? Huh, Johnny? You let somebody beguile you out your loins? I can't even say you were beguiled by that. You just got passed down the tradition. He said, I felt violated. Them strong words, ain't it? I had figured out at an early age that he wasn't real. I want to say like 6. I mean, I didn't believe the Jesus narrative because I didn't go to church. So, but how you felt when you got beguiled? Sit down. Shayla, you been beguiled? How you felt when you got beguiled? You allowed it? No, because a lot of times when people get beguiled, it be what you want to hear anyway. That's how you get beguiled. You know, a lot of people who get caught. Brittany says in regards to the TV, but you know how you get got. Put it. How can I frame this here, right? When you look at a lot of people who get caught up in the scams and things of that nature, they got seduced and beguiled because of their greed. They knew that this didn't sound right, but they allowed the words to seduce them because they had such a desire to yield themselves to what it was that they were desiring. That's how you usually get beguiled. Huh? Oh, so you just late.
I was at that time. I feel like I did. By Cutco.
By who?
Cutco, selling knives. Oh, you selling it?
Oh, Cutco.
Yeah, it's like they try to get on that type. They just like pennies with silk, pennies with silk. Oh yeah, they cut they take you and show you all these knives and like put icing on the cake. Like you gotta put a scissors that you can cut a piece with, and that's supposed to be like such a big thing.
Interesting.
Like that's not decent. Nobody's cutting pictures.
Tavon said he felt like he could kill him. But see, the reason why I say that, because I'm sitting here thinking about it, that Brittany said she used to work with them people. Why I don't feel like I ever been beguiled, because I listen to people when they talking to me. So when you trying to get me to do something, yeah, I didn't go for it.
I'm still trying to figure out how
It's because you know why it's a scheme. This number one, I'm a business person. There's no such thing as getting something for nothing. Anytime that you can do something and there was not a tangible asset or labor to increase that money, that's a scam. Because you don't have control of stopping a nigga from running off with the whole pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody tried to
No. Sean said he was baffled that he could be fooled in such a fashion. But again, when you're seduced, because see, when it comes to seduction on the sexual side, seduction is all about alluring someone to something that they already want to do. You already want to do it. So you're looking, is this person smooth enough to convince me to do something that I know ain't right, but I want to do it anyway? Because that's how Eve got. She was seduced. because that's what she wanted to do. The reason why I say that is when it comes to people doing that, I'm listening to what you're saying to me, and I'm not like when anytime somebody come at me with business, and the first thing they tell me about is how much money I can make, I'm already out. You know what I'm saying? I already don't want to hear. If that's your lead in, oh, we can make a lot of money. Oh, I'm good, yo. I don't really care anything because I know that you're trying to seduce me by greed. You know what I'm saying? If I meet a woman and all she tells me about is physical this and physical that, my mind already clicked. This woman wants something. She's trying to seduce me with her vagina with hopes that I will be enraptured by her physical pleasures and give her what she wants. I'm already out. I'm straight, baby. You can keep that cookie. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get the way that you don't get beguiled is to not be moved by your desires and listen to what someone is saying to you. Most of all these Hebrew women who in this word. Oh, you good, my G. See, most women who get got in the word, how they say they be with a bad man, is because they knew that nigga was trash. But they wanted to fool with him, so they wanted to buy the junk that he was selling to go along and mess with him. You already knew that nigga was trash. You already knew that nigga wasn't about nothing. Same thing with a man with a low-level trash woman. You already knew she was trash. But you allowed their words to seduce you into believing that they weren't because that's what you wanted. That's why you don't allow sin or the world to seduce you if the word is in you, because that's not what you want. If that's not what you want. Pot Stain, what you doing? Back to Genesis, man. 14. We don't need verse 14. I need verse 17. We skip over all that. No, you have to think about that, man. That's right if that was true. If it was true, they definitely make all the money. But they're trying to convince you that you can make all the money. Because he's trying to make money from getting the money from you. That's why when people get scammed, they be so embarrassed. And they don't want to tell nobody. 3:17, and unto Adam he said, because you have hearkened unto the voice of your wife, and eaten of the tree which I have commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake, and sorrow you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth, and you shall eat the herb of the fields, and the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return unto the ground, for out of it you was taken, for dust you are, and dust you shall return. Let's look at dust. Not another one. Another one bites the dust. Dust, everybody. Afar. Dry earth. Y'all ready for me? I ain't paying rocks. Talk to me. I ain't paying rocks. Talk to me now. I want you to understand. See, there's a difference from beguiling and somebody bucking you and not keeping their word. Somebody not keeping their word, they didn't beguile you. They just dishonorable. I ain't paying rocks for afar. Dry earth. Notice what it say, right? Dry earth. I ain't paying rocks now. Dry earth. I ain't paying Raj. To know the word or present of the highest. Come here, Jordan. Or presence of the highest. Come here, Jordan.
The highest
I need to be crying. I just went to the bathroom. Relax. Doesn't matter. You don't have to sit down and relax. All right. Highest present you his word. Any of y'all got something from the back here? Hmm?
The chief for the highest word in your mouth.
Wow, that's that. We got that one too. You could also say you know the words of the Son of the Highest, because you're dry earth. And what if you dry earth? What you lack? Ain't no water in the what? In that pit, right? Ain't that what he told you in Zechariah? So that's where the conundrum come in at. Because dust you are and dust you shall return, because you ate of this tree, now you in the dry earth. You dry earth now. Now we have to dissect all of these things, and when we dissect all of these things, we out of here. So the first thing that we need to dissect is, we talked about it a little bit. He said, the woman that you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree and I did eat. So that means we need to come back to Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah, you trying to follow along, Renee? You a big girl. That's right. Without living water, there is no life. You're not a little baby anymore? Renee's not a little baby anymore. What chapter are you supposed to go on? You are supposed to go on Isaiah chapter 1. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Well, let me see. Isaiah 1 and 5, by the way. Very good.
We're already on chapter 1. Just look at number 5. Number 5,
Very
that's
good.
verse 5.
Very good. Isaiah 1 and 5. Why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the feet, even from the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds, bruises, and putrefying sores, and they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Now pause. Let's consider. We've dealt with this on numerous occasions. Let's talk about it now. Now, he just said it was a sinful people laden with iniquity, corrupters who have forsaken Yahuwah. Did not Eve forsake Yahuwah, everybody? So look what it said, right? So now from the sole of your feet, even from the head, hey, there is no soundness in it. Let's look at soundness. He said ain't nothing but wounds in it. The wounds should be your dead giveaway. Should not the wounds be your dead giveaway of what this is discussing? Let me tell you something. Anytime you see wounds, you should already know what's going on. Son have been sacrificed. Anytime you see any verse that say anything about wounds, you should already know. Look what it said that he didn't do with the wounds. He ain't closing. Let's look at soundness, right? Bathon. That means you ain't entire. You're not wholesome. Mean. Cow. Mean. Out living. Because we just talked about that. You got dry earth, right? So you're not sound. Sean just told you ain't got no living water. Mean, cow, and mean. Huh? Oh, ain't nobody sign of chaos, because soundness means to be whole. Being whole with chaos. Huh? You can say mighty.
I said last one.
Last blood to get you to ruah. Or you could look at it as simply as this, that the Ruach is the sign of life. Because that's what will make you whole, right? Because you got two means, right? So you know you could take one of the means and make it mighty. You could take that towel and make it a sign. Then you know what a Ruach is, because the Ruach is the mighty Elohim. That's what would make you whole. That's what would make you whole. You're not whole without it. That means you dry earth. Oh, praise the Lamb, man. Praise the Lamb. So look at that, right? He said the wounds and bruises. Let's look at wounds. Wounds. Y'all know what it is. Pet sa. Talk to me. Pay, sa, and ayin. Pay, sa, and ayin. Pay, sa, and ayin. You getting pulled towards something, or you walking in the way? You got a harvest? What you got? What you got, Michael? Let me read some of the stuff aside for you. Do you want to say fish hook? If we look at that wounds, do we want to say fish hook? Do you want to look at something that's being chased or hunted? Or you want to go with the way? Which one you think we should go with, Muffin? Should we go with fish hook? You want to say the way? You gonna do it? Now what we gonna do with that pay? What we gonna do with that pay? The mother say go with the way. So what we gonna do with pay? To present? You want to present the way? Let me look at all of them for everybody. We got a mouth, the opening and entrance, to speak, to command, to present, the beginning of the edge, to praise or to blow. So which one you think we should go with if we going with the way? We go with opening or speak, to praise, entrance. So we got the entrance to the way. Now what we gonna do with this ayin at the backside that we got? Experience the way of the word, Sean. What we gonna do with this ayin on the backside? You say we entering into the way. So entering into the way will converge with the soul. That what he said? And I can roll with it. So now when we look at this here, right? When we look at Mashiach when he was wounded, what did he say? He the way, the truth, and the life. The only way that you can enter into the interest for the word to convert your soul is you got to become one with his sacrifice. Let's continue. Now, bruises is a little longer word. And it's kabarua. And that's a bruise, a stripe, or a wound. Now it says blueness. Y'all remember that proverb we looked at that talk about blueness? Come on to Proverb 21. Walk with me. That boy's still going. My bad. It's Proverbs 20, I believe. Proverbs 20 and 30. I do that all the time. Proverbs 20 and 30. The blueness of a wound cleanses away evil. So do stripes the inward parts of the belly. Let's look at stripes and blueness. Let's see if it's the same word. Blueness, same word. Stripes, different word. Makah, wound, slaughter, mean, cough, and hate. So guess what? You get to behold the chaos that subdued Yahusha. What does Isaiah 53 tell you? That he was wounded for what? Our transgression. What was Adam wounded for? Eve's transgression. Remember, the end from the beginning from the end. And again, this is in the spiritual aspect of understanding of the gospel. Because again, we talked about this before with Adam dying for his wife. Well, Adam ain't have to do that. So again, pay attention, right? Listen what it says. The blueness of a wound cleanses away evil. So boom, blueness again is kabarua, stripe or a wound or a blow. Isaiah 53 says he was wounded for our transgression. So this man wounds does what? Washes away evil. Hebrews chapter 9. Whooping. Don't get whooped, cuz. Hebrews 9 and 11. What man do? Or would you like for me to show you? Can you say Hebrews? You got to say it. 9 and 11. There you go, Renee. Hebrews 9 and 11. But Mashiach becoming a high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into Kadash's place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot to Elohim, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim. See how the blueness of a wound cleanses away evil. Because if that's the case, should not this man's blood purge your conscience from dead works? Ain't that what it said? Oh, she'll learn. She's going to take a tumble and she'll learn. Look at the second half of that verse. So do stripes the inward parts of the belly, or so does slaughter. Let's come over here to Colossians when it comes to slaughter with the inward parts of your belly. Where does Psalm say that Elohim desires wisdom at? In your inward parts. And of course, Kadar is the word for inward, which is Kat, Dalet, and Raj. And guess what that means? You separated by the sacrifice of the chief. Separated by the sacrifice of the high. Isaiah Joy, why you not where you supposed to be? See, now you being a rebel. And you have a reputation for being very hard-headed. I don't care what's going on around you. You sit where your Abba told you to sit at. I wouldn't care if this house was falling in. You bet not move. Now, the third time that I have to tell you to get back and we'll see, I guess you know what's going to happen. Me and you going to have a meeting. And you're not going to like it. No, I done forgot where I was going, fooling with you. Colossians chapter 3, thank you. Colossians chapter 3, that's right, Renee.
Colossians chapter 3.
That's right, Michael. 3 and 1. You find Colossians chapter 3, Michael?
I found Colossians.
Let me see what you find. It's not somebody, my mom. Is that where you're supposed to be? No, Renee. That's 1 Kings chapter 18. We want Colossians chapter 3. Colossians.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, verse 1.
Hey.
If you then be risen with Mashiach, seek those things which are above, where Mashiach sit on the right hand of Elohim. Set your affection on the things above and not the things. I seen somebody say that again, talking about being so heavenly minded you could be of no earthly good. That phrase just really grinds my gears. To talk about how they came, because they said they would try to have a conversation with somebody, and the person kept saying, "Y'all will." It had a regular conversation. You're lying to me. Ought to. Y'all know what that word say. Boast not on tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. That's your pride and arrogance that you feel like tomorrow gonna bring. Then because of your pride and arrogance, you felt like what tomorrow was gonna bring. Then tomorrow don't bring it. Now you mad with you. But guess what he told you not to do? Not to boast, because he don't owe you nothing. You know he only owe you 3 things if you're in covenant with him. What are those 3 things? What's the third? We talked about it the other day. It's in Exodus 21. You remember? About a couple weeks ago. Not closed. To an extent closed. To an extent it is closed. So you all right. Not shelter. But to an extent you're right. Not even protection. It said that you would get conjugal rights. Ain't that what it said? The duty of marriage. Oh, y'all forgot? Oh, y'all done forgot. Come over here to Exodus 21. They done forgot. Michael, how you let them forget? Because you forgot. Exodus 21 to 10. Oh, would you like for me to show you? Exodus 21. Verse 10. Verse 10.
I know.
Verse 10. 10.
10.
Adam, what you doing? Don't climb on me, Adam.
Stop touching my booty.
Well, y'all are definitely trapped in a very small area. Duty of marriage, right? Remember, it's onah. Remember, that's cohabitation. That's why I say a dwelling place is close. Remember cohabitation, conjugal rights. Y'all remember that? Onah. What's the cohabitation or the conjugal rights? It's the dwelling of the ruach. That's all he owes.
Is this the one?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, I did it.
oh, you did it. That's all he owes you, right? It's food, raiment, and cohabitation. Remember what Yahushua told you? Those of you that believe my words, my Father will come and we will do what? Make our abode with you. Cohabitation. That's what he said. If a man take him another wife, that's why nobody got no business ruling over this man's wife. Well, some niggas be like, there's none of this. Man, look at man. At the end of the day, when we talking about ruling over a man's wife, we ain't just talking about a man married to another woman. Every congregation and assembly on the face of the earth belongs to the living Elohim. That's his wife. It's not the pastor's wife. It's not the preacher's wife. It's not the apostle's wife. It's Elohim's wife. Simple as that. Because you know why? Because the pastor didn't die for you. Second Adam did. So that's all we wanted from out of that for your remembrance. Let's step back and look at something about how he ate this tree, though, right? Now let's look at something. Numbers 14. We've been referencing it. Let's go look at it. Stop. Numbers 14 and 8, if you would. We'll move around a little bit. Numbers 14 and 8. If you delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us. Matter of fact, back this up. Look at verse 1 and we'll go back down. Where's the book of Numbers thing? Numbers 14 thing. Are you going to find chapter 14, or are you just going to chew on that? Up is it?
14.
Relax. Not there to play.
I found chapter 14.
Okay. 14 and 1. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. The sons of Yasharal murmured against Moses and against Aaron, and the whole congregation said unto them, would Elohim that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would Elohim we had died in the wilderness? Wherefore you who have brought unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and the sons should be a prey, were it not better for us to return into Egypt? Drop down. Verse 11. Look at what Yahuwah said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? How long will it be ere they believe me for all the signs which I have showed them? I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and will make you a greater nation and mightier than they. Look what he said he'll do. He'll get rid of that woman and get a new one. You know what he said? Now, did Adam do that? Because he could have did that with Adam and said, you know what? Get rid of that woman, I'll get you another. No, he didn't do that. Look what he does. Moses said unto Yahuwah, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for you brought up this people in your might from among them. And they will tell the inhabitants of the land, for they have heard that you Yahuwah are among this people, and that you Yahuwah are seen face to face, and that your cloud stand over them, and that you go before them by daytime in the pillar of a cloud and the pillar of fire by night. Now if you shall kill this people as what? One man, then the nations which have heard the fame of you will speak, saying, because Yahuwah was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. Now where did he slay Adam at? In the garden. And that which would be sit back and look at in the wilderness. But why was he willing to turn back? See, turn back and look at this here, right? Let's look at it in this way. Let's drop down a little bit more. Well, we can read verse 17. Now I beseech you, let the power of my Lord be great, according as you have spoken, saying, Yahuwah is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression. See what he says? He'll forgive iniquity and transgression. He can forgive rebellion. But what is what someone should do to get that iniquity or rebellion forgiven? They would have to repent and turn from it. He say, by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the sons into the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech you, the iniquity of this people according to the greatness of your mercy, as you have forgiven this people from Mizraim even unto now. Yahuwah said, I have a pardon according to your word. For truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the esteem of Yahuwah. Because all those men which have seen my esteem, did not Adam see his esteem? Did not Adam see his miracles? Which I did in Mizraim and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. So what happened with Adam with the garden? Was he able to see it any longer? No, he was not. Now, of course, Yahushua didn't have that problem. Now, let me ask y'all this question. This is an old lesson that we went over before. Let me make sure that I ask it properly. Let me ask you, Deeper. Was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob strangers in the land of promise? Let me ask you this question. Was Yahushua a stranger in the land of promise? Huh? Was the Lord himself a stranger in the land of promise? When he was on the earth, literally. And you would be correct. Now, why is he a stranger in the land of promise? Because all three of the men that I just asked her about, did they not dwell in the land of Canaan yet did not inherit it while they dwelt there? Were they not under the authority? Was not the land under the authority of rule of other people while they lived there? When Yahushua came in the land and dwelt in it, was he not a stranger in that land because another person had rule and authority over it? And why is that the case? Because he has to fulfill what was spoken of who? Of those three men who came before him. He had to dwell. Didn't it say Isaac dwelt there? Isaac dwelt in Canaan. He didn't have no rule there. He was a stranger. And so was Jacob. And so was Abraham. So, of course, the Lord follows suit in this. Just follow me, because we're still in Colossians chapter 3, right? I'm using this for a reason. Mention this for a reason. Let me make sure I keep my train of thought. So when we look at this here, right, he provoked and said that they won't see it. Now Adam got put out. None of us has seen that land of promise, correct? So even now, if we will go back, some people be like, you ain't got no business in the land of Israel. It don't matter. You're just a stranger in your land. You ain't doing nothing but doing the same type of thing because you don't have no rule. Now we read earlier, right, about the first and the last, that those who don't do right, that they're gonna see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the prophets and all the righteous men before him eating in the kingdom. But what's gonna happen to them? Gonna be thrust out. What got Adam thrust out? Not obeying. What got these men thrust out? Not obeying. Because they didn't get the blueness of the wound to cleanse the belly, nor the stripe, the inward parts. Everything is going to point you back to being inward. Now we go back to Adam. Adam got put out for disobeying, but Adam has to follow. Remember, right, that death reigned from Adam to Moses, who didn't have the similitude of Adam, because Adam is a figure to Mashiach. Adam had to die for his wife. You know what I'm saying? We just seen what Moses did was stood in the gap and asked for forgiveness. But now we still got to go back because what did it say? He said, if I be like Adam and hide my what? And hide my iniquity where? Now, what did the Lord say about bosom? Do y'all recall the statement that the Lord said about bosom? Because he made a statement about bosom. Luke is absolutely correct. Let's go take a look. Luke 19.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody that took a bath. Abigail, sit down somewhere. Luke 19 and 41. Hey, so there it is. It's not what. Good thing got Abraham's bosom.
This sounds like somebody cooking.
Smell like somebody cooking?
Like hot dog.
Well, now Luke 13, it's not more so bosom, but it's all the same.
Smells like hot dog.
And it's on the point that what I need, what we talking about anyway. Luke 13 and 31. Muffin. Look like you playing. That's what you doing? You playing? Should you be playing? Abigail gets you in trouble.
Abigail.
Where's Lily?
Luke 13 and 31. The same day there came certain of the Pharisees saying unto him, get you out and depart hence, for Herod will kill you. He said unto them, go and tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today, and tomorrow, and the third day, and I shall be perfected. Nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet perish out of Jerusalem. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, which killed the prophets and stoned them which are sent unto you, how often would I have gathered your sons together as a hen do gather her brood under her wings, and you would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. Truly I say unto you, you shall not see me until the time come when you shall say, Baruch is he that come in the name of Yahuwah. Now, of course, gathering the hen in her brood, akin to gathering up you according in her bosom or close or near to her. You don't want that gathering. Because he said that's where he tried to hide his iniquity or in his chest. Let's go back to Job 31 because we got to reconcile all of that because we got to get out of here. We can't get out of here until everything is done. So let's go back again and look. If I hid my transgressions as Adam, if I hid my rebellion as Adam. So pause. Now we need to come back. We talked about this a few weeks ago, right? What are the two key components of preaching the gospel that must be mentioned when you preach them? Two key components that are manifested when you preach the gospel. If you testify the Son, you'll be testifying of two key components that are very necessary in order for an individual soul to be saved. Repentance is one. Not another. No. Mm-mm. Repentance is one. If you've repented, what would be the next thing that would happen? If you've repented of your sins, what's the next thing that would happen to those sins? They would be remitted. Remember, it's repentance and what? Remission of sins. You understand? Without repentance and remission of sins, your instruction is fruitless. Ain't benefit or profit in any of it. Now let's look at something about hide iniquity. Let's help Michael out here. You ready to be helped out, Michael? Isaiah chapter 14. We still got Colossians chapter 3 too. Isaiah 14. We're going to make this swift, Michael. But we can't spend an inordinate amount of time here. 14 and 9, first and foremost. Do you know what the Hebrew word for hell means, Michael? Eric, do you know what the Hebrew word for hell means? Correct. And hell is? The grave. Grave.
Here.
So Isaiah 14 and 9. Hell beneath thee is moved for you. Excuse me. Hell from beneath is moved for you to meet you at your coming. Who the only person moving graves that they coming? Right? Follow it now. If you stir up the dead for you, even all the chief ones for the earth, it has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And they all shall speak and say unto you, are you also become weak as us? Weak as we? Are you become like unto us? That's what that is. Preaching to the spirits in prison. Preaching to the spirits in prison. How would they be able to, when you look at it, right, have you become weak like unto us? Let's look at weak. Are you weak? Or are you strong? Why are you strong? Or you eat healthy things and go to sleep? Early. Very well. You wake up early? So you're not a baby. Mm-hmm. So you're a big child. Weak here is kala, right? It's that they become weak to become ill, to become diseased, to become grieved. What makes an individual weak? And that causes disobedience causes what? Let's look at verse 11. Your pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of your vows, the worm is spread under you, and the worms cover you. Now, let's get, this is also the first and the last. How art you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How are you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? The Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. How is he fallen from heaven? John chapter 6 tells you that I didn't come down from heaven to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. You understand? It's about John 6 and 38. He said, but you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my thrones above the stars, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. The sides of the north is in Psalms 48, Michael. Psalms, sides of the north is referring to the north gate or the city of Jerusalem. And it literally said sides of the north in regards to the city of the great king being Jerusalem in Psalms 48 for word. So when you look at that, right, we know that he said he will ascend into heaven. We talked about that, about him being received into esteem. We know that he will exalt his thrones above the stars of Elohim, because the stars of Elohim are the angels, and he is above them. And it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. But look what it says. But you shall be brought down to hell into the sides of the pit. Now, Adam is the son of Elohim, and he was like unto the Most High. But guess what happened? He got brought down to hell in the sides of the pit. The only difference is that the first Adam would not ascend into heaven. He wasn't given that witness. But in order for him to die, of course, he said he had to hide his iniquity and hide his transgression and put his iniquity in his bosom. See, in order for this to happen on your regard with Lucifer here, that's why the church said, I love Lucifer, because Lucifer is Mashiach, son of the morning, or the son of the day. You can't be a son of Elohim if you're not obedient. Anybody that thinks a devil can be a son of anyone is a fool. Because in order to be a son, you got to take the chastisement and be obedient. What chastisement has Satan never taken? He ain't never been chastised. He don't get chastised till when? I'm talking about specifically. When does Satan meet his comeuppance? After Gog and Magog, his comeuppance. It's not. Really about $1.25. You really Googling it? What is it?
Oh, it's
Nah, you was running foul of me, so now you have to receive the comeuppance. You have ran afoul of me, so now it's time for you to receive your comeuppance. Another way to say recompense. That's why I say that's not a $5 word. Niggas say recompense. Where did I learn that word? Where? Where I haven't I learned it.
Yeah, I've never heard that word.
I have. I've heard it on television, but I'm a reader. I don't even watch that. I have no respect for that.
Yeah, he does.
He might be an intelligent man. I don't know, but he's a sucker as far as I'm concerned. That nigga did a couple things of which I cannot regard you as a man of integrity or honor ever again in life. I'm gonna go to sleep, Dale. You're fighting.
He has a gorilla bear problem.
But that's the short version. But we can use it in what we're talking about because Isaiah 14 is the first and the last. What you see with Lucifer, it bears witness to him being manifested on the earth, slain, resurrected from the dead, and ascending back into heaven. He that which is and which was and which is to come. I am he that is alive and was dead and live forevermore. It's contained right now. Ain't got nothing to do with the devil. That's just another perspective. See, that's why I keep telling you, no matter what we can look at, if the will of Yahuwah is able, you will see it from a different vantage point, but it's going to be the same thing. Because again, we've never looked at that for the first and the last, and which is and which was and which is to come.
No, I'm gonna say that is that's James
Actually, Satan is the opposite. Why do we know Satan is the opposite? Because Saran posted it on our first session, Isaiah 8:20. If they don't speak according to the law and the testimony, there's no what? Light in them. Yahushua said that the devil has no what? No truth in him. So if he ain't got no truth in him, he ain't got no what in him. And if you ain't got no light, you ain't got what? Light. We ain't talking, see, we talking about the real day star, not the homeboy. Quality album. I ain't took a listen because after what Michael done played, I was just disturbed at the level of trash that his music is. Man, bump that nigga Tory Lanez. That nigga sucked penis on Wednesday, allegedly. Favorite day of the week. He say he do it for Woden. Oh, you don't know who Woden is?
No,
Shoot. The fact that he in the music industry. So shoot. That nigga do it for Thor, he do it for Woden. That nigga do it for Frida. He do it for Saturn. That boy ain't gonna get heat. That's just a shame and ritual. He'll be out.
Oh yeah, Charles used to have one for
What they charged him with? Oh, that's a petty charge. They ain't gonna do nothing, nigga. This a ritual you playing out. That nigga shot a man and they lined him up. New Chris Brown. Guess what? Now guess what? They already shared that in the chat. What they put that bald-headed skank hole on the cover of Time magazine talking about she most influential? Yes. Yes, she is. Because it was a shaming ritual to boost their profile. This nigga Tory Lane's supposed to be a major artist. That nigga dropped his album on SoundCloud. So then you have to look at why did they do that for him to tell his side of the story. Nigga, everything is calculated, organized. I'm just saying, I don't care if she a man or not. She might as well be a man. She a masculine whore. You know what I'm talking about? Whether she got genitals of a man or a woman in between her legs, she got the mind of a man, so she's a bald-headed skank whore. I would not praise nor esteem such a rancid slut. That whole disgusting. She's vile. She ought to be slapped off the face of the planet because she turning your daughter into a whore. And if you listen to her music and you get excited, you might be trying to play to your inner whore. Somebody need to tell it to you. That's a whore. That junk, man, when you keep it real, that junk ain't no different. If Lil Kim music gets you excited from hardcore, or Foxy Brown, or around here with them hoes in talking about they coochie talk and all that stuff, they playing to you in a whore. You be like this, well, I like that song. You better check it. You might got a whore in you. I just heard it in the skit. I don't know nothing about that, but I'd say anything with Cardi B, you gotta be careful with the music. Is it speaking to your inner whore? Is there a whore in you? You know what I'm saying? Is there a whore in you? Because I know this here, boy, if I pulled up on a chicken, she bumping Megan Thee Stallion, I'm like this here, oh, you cancer. No. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta treat you like a bad television show and get you off the air. Nah, not Nino Brown, nigga. CBS, nigga. ABC. We ain't ordering no more episodes. You ain't getting past the pilot, nigga. I don't know if she a woman or not, but screw that hoe. You know what I'm talking about? He should have shot her in the face. What's that? Oh no, you shot her in the face. Shot her right in the mouth. Because her words are destroying generations of young girls and a generation of young women. Ain't nothing. She has no redeemable qualities. That hoe is a witch. And you know what the book say about a witch? Don't suffer or to live. She cast a spell. She is not worthy to be praised. She does not fear Yahuwah. I cannot stamp a woman who got a song that say there's whores in the house.
Oh yeah.
I done heard bits and pieces and slip. There's some hoes in this house. You already canceled. I'm not listening to no woman that say I'm a hoe and I'm in the house. You know what I'm talking about? So if you a hoe and you in the house, you in the wrong place because you need to be on the track laying on your back. I ain't talking about that track. I'm talking about Phillips Highway, Main Street. Go beat your feet, nigga. Guess what? Ain't no rappers get no pass. Neither screw them niggas do. I don't know nothing about Daystar Peterson. Nigga should have shot him too. What Tory Lane's real name is? That nigga named Daystar. That ain't that nigga name. That ain't that nigga name. Yeah, that's what they say. Man, them niggas be CIA operatives, them niggas be playing it, nigga been untouched on them, and threw them out there. They done told you that nigga Daystar. Nigga, Tupac ain't that nigga name, that nigga named Les. That nigga named Les.
Same.
That nigga named Les.
We sound like take on a barbershop.
That nigga named Les. And if I did school up, you understand what I'm saying? Now that nigga named Lassane Parish Crooks. Nigga, Tupac Amaru is the name of a militia in Brazil, and it means saint. Come on, man. That nigga says Pop's name Sunstar. Whoa. Let me get back on point. Come on back over here, man. Job 31. This stuff may carry. We at a 2 hour mark. It's almost 11. Job. Say it with me, Stanks. Job. Very good, girls.
Job.
Michael.
I didn't say it.
Say it with me. Job. Conrad.
Job.
Job. Very good.
Go, Job.
Hey. Get it together.
Dwayne,
Yes.
11 people are watching.
11 people are watching. Thank you for telling me. I would have not known if you had not told me. You are very helpful. Yes, Grandma.
12 people are watching it now.
Mm-hmm. Mother, how you hand me the book and run off? Hey, calm down. Very good, man. Renee, how you gonna hand me the book and walk off?
The picture is supposed to be on.
Job 31.
Job.
The reason why I tell you this is remember we had these conversations when we were talking about Nipsey Hussle. I don't care how much you enjoy these people's music, art, if that's what you want to call it. You can never hold these people in high regard. These people are open rebels against your father. They despise him with every ounce of their soul, and they participate every day to permeate ignorance, wickedness, rebellion, and all manner of seduction and deceit into the hearts and minds of anyone who will listen to cause you to be apostate against your Elohim. You cannot uplift these people because they black, they rich, and they famous. You can't do that. You can't do, man, screw all of them in. In every avenue and venue that they in. I don't care if it's sports, I don't care if it's music, I don't care if it's politics. Nigga, them people going to hell. So while you talking about, if you want to look at Megan Stallion, guess what? It's going to be some holes in the valley of him now. She can sing and twerk and pop, lock, and drop it all she wanted in there. She might be trying to get them flames off them feet. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself this one question. Would you want your daughter to be like Megan Stallion? Even if you wasn't in the word, would you want your daughter to think and behave like her? Would you want your daughter to think and behave like Lil' Kim or Cardi B? Would you want your son to behave and talk like T.I., like Jesus, like Trick? Nigga, Trick is a shame before God. That's why that nigga look like that. That's why that nigga look like a TV enterprise. Straight up.
Watching now. 9 people are watching. But 0 people don't like it.
0 people don't like it? Well, that's okay. So let me ask y'all this question. How did he hide your iniquity in his bosom? Because how did Adam hide his iniquity in his bosom and cover his transgression? What did he do? He took that fig leaf. But what did Yahuwah replace it with? Oh, the skins. He manifested itself in the flesh to cover your sins. Manifested itself in the flesh to cover your sins. You know what he did? Because you try to cover up your sins with what? Your own self. He said, I'll cover them. Let's go look at it. Coats of skins. We're going to Genesis chapter 3. Grandma and stank pot. Yes, little muffin. Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3, verse 21. I can't do it right now, baby. You got to sit on over there. We got to get finished. Genesis 3 and 21. Under Adam also and to his wife, the Yahuwah Elohim made coats of skins and clothed them. Let's look at coats. It is kanof, an undergarment, a tunic, a long shirt, a garment usually of linen. What that word tell you about that linen, y'all? That's the fine linen. What? The righteousness of who? Talk to me now. Kaf, tau, excuse me. Kaf, tau, noon, and tie. So if you got that off, you've been subdued, right? So you've been subdued. The covenant had been subdued. So therefore, there need to be a seed of life of a new covenant. Let's look at skins. Skins is or, which is hide. You got ayin, and raj. So guess what? Now you know that you've been secured to the highest. So how did you know that? Because he's the first and the last, and Elohim was manifested in the flesh and justified in the ruach, because that's how you got the linen. Because who gave it to you? Elohim. Who put the coat of skin on Mashiach? Elohim. Let's look at clothe them. No doubt. You can look at that as well. Labash. To dress, to wear the clothes. Lamad, Bat, and Sean. So guess what now? You've been paired to the teachers of the house. You've been paired to the teachers of the son. Either way, you've been paired to a teacher. That makes you a part of the family because you clothed. What do we read in Revelation 16? Don't get caught out here without your garments lest they see your what? Shame. But see, the thing is you can't have your own garment. You got to be covered by Elohim, will take you back to John. If you try to climb up some other way, you are what? You got to go through you got to come through Yahuwah. You can't cover your own sin. What Hebrews be telling you to do? All you have to do is say, Father, forgive me. I bring forth the calves of my lips. You are done. But they grabbed that from Hosea 14. Are you aware of Hosea 14? We'll take a look then. Hosea chapter 14. Say it with me, Muffy. Hosea. Chapter 14. Verse 9. Would y'all like to read it aloud?
No. Yes.
Well, I didn't know. Yes, Grandma, you answered wrong. I don't need verse 9. We need verse 1. Hosea chapter 14, children. Verse 1. Oh, Yasharal. Say, calm down. Oh, Yasharal. Return unto Yahuwah.
Return unto Yahuwah.
Your Elohim. You have fallen by your iniquity. What did Adam fall by? Take with you words and turn to Yahuwah and say unto him, take away all iniquity,
take all away the iniquity,
and receive us graciously. So we will render the calves of our lips. That's what they use. That's why they say that. You know what that really is? Confessing your sins. When you repent, get down, please. Don't you fall off that there, Grandma. You are in the book of Hosea, chapter 14. That is where you're at. So when in that regard, right? When you look at that here, right? This man came and he covered your transgressions and he hid them in your bosom. Adam covered those transgressions. He was trying to not only, because remember, right? He said he made them male and female and called their name what? So he wasn't just covering for himself, he was covering for her too. See, that's what a lot of people see. He tried to blame the woman. He can't blame the woman. The woman did that. See, that's the one thing. You can't blame someone for something that they've done. If you did it, you did it. There's no blame. You blamed me. Nigga, you ate the tree. But at the same token, he didn't have, see, what people try to put Adam with is the mind state of what most men think of now, which is they're an individual. He didn't have that thought process. He said, yeah, the woman you gave me, she caused me to eat. But in the beginning, he was covering for them both. When he was pressed, he said she did it. Well, guess what? Who caused Yasharal to sin? Yasharal. Who caused Elohim to die? Yasharal. So when he looked at his opposite, the woman you gave me, she caused me to eat. She caused me to die. It's all the same thing, which again is the first and the last. Which is why you can't fall for that when the beasts come up talking about, look at me, I resurrected from the dead. Come take my covenant. I will not. Because he's not dying to cover sins. That's how you don't get God. When you look at the first and the last, the key component is dying to cover sins. The whole play is about covering sin. When he told Paul to get baptized, what did he say? Go wash away your what? Come over here to Acts 26. Abigail and Grandma. See, little pie face baby, I'm gonna whoop your butt. Oh, I'm not? So you think you special. 26 and 15. See, you ain't gonna be satisfied till one day I come out of nowhere and whoop your butt. Looking at me crazy because you was like, Baba just whooped me, and I never thought he would have done it. I'm gonna file that in my mental Rolodex. Oh, so what you said? Come here. Come here. I'm gonna pop you when we get off this camera because I don't want to hear you cry while I'm. Oh no, you let your mouth write a check your butt thing cap. Bring your behind back over here. No, you don't want your mommy. Excuse me. Put your hand out. Stick your hand out. Now go on over there. No, that's what she did for getting slick out the mouth. 26 and 15.
26 and 15. I'm here.
Very good.
Is this the 15 way down here? Is this the 15 way down here that we need to go?
Nice.
Acts 26 and 15. And he said, who are you, Lord? And he said, I'm Yahushua, whom you persecute. But rise and stand upon your feet, for I have appeared unto you for this purpose, to make you a servant and a witness both of these things which you have seen, and of those things in which I will appear unto you, delivering you from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send you, to open their eyes and turn this from darkness to light. So when Adam did what he did, what were they in? They were in what? They were in darkness. When Yahushua came, when he was on the stake, what did he make it go into? He made it be darkness. He brought that cloud. From Hashatan, the power of Hashatan under Elohim. What's the power of the adversary? Death. What's the power of Elohim? Life. What was the power of Hashatan in the garden? What did he bring? So that's why he put a coat of skins on you to show you that he would bring you life later. Because he's telling you the end from the beginning. See, we look at the beginning as everybody get caught up at the story about Adam when the story about the last Adam to be told. Are you all right? He said that they may receive forgiveness of sins and an inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. See, that's what Adam didn't get. He didn't get forgiveness of sins per se, meaning to be purged so he could live forever. And he didn't get his inheritance. Because did he not have an inheritance? And what happened? He lost it. Didn't Yasharal have an inheritance? And what happened? He lost it. But at the same time, Adam forsook his inheritance. The same way that Esau forsook his inheritance. The same way that Moses forsook his. And Abraham forsook his. Pointing to Yahusha forsaking his. That goes back to what we were talking about him with the rich man. He wasn't asking the rich man to do nothing other than something that he had already done. And that's why he said that's why it's difficult for a rich man to get in, because a rich man trusts his wealth over trust in Elohim, that Elohim will give him riches that he cannot see. Didn't Yahusha tell you, I counsel of you to buy gold for me tried in the fire? Don't the book say in Proverbs 8 that he give riches unto men, durable riches? We talked about riches a while back. You remember that? But we'll stop right here, man. We want to give thanks to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua for the word, for the duration of this time period that we've been rolling. Prayerfully that the first and the last has been pretty, praise Elohim. Prayerfully that the topic of the first and the last has been made pretty clear for me from the different vantage points and angles that Elohim has allowed us to look at it from. Again, we give all thanks and praises to the living Elohim by way of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, man, because without him, there ain't nothing possible. There is no knowledge, there is no wisdom, there is no understanding without his mercy. So we appreciate it. Bless his mighty God's name. I bless y'all at the house of Yahuwah in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing, we back on regular time on Wednesday, 7:30. You know what I mean? Make it do what it do. But just wait and consider. Keep your feet slowly locked into the land, man. For sure.
What? There's 11 people watching it.
Yes.